Up until today, you've been swinging back and forward about your recruiting process, and that's probably why you can't find good guys. So today I want to take a bit of time to go through the 4 steps to hiring A-grade talent. And if it's okay with you, we could probably be here for 6 hours, so I'm going to focus just on attracting the A grades. This is how to bring way too many people into your world that you won't be able to hire them all. There's a couple other pieces to these 4 steps. We would then need to activate them, retain them, and reward them. But they are 3 videos for another day because your time's precious. So let's get stuck into attracting the right guys so that you have a talent pool to pick from instead of just recruiting the first person that comes into your inbox. Come take a look. Now straight away, you're probably thinking, Sammy boy, what are we doing at the playground here today? And I'm glad you asked. I wanted you to have a visceral response about where you should be at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You should be here in the local playground playing with the children. And the reason that you're not is because you're understaffed. You don't have a talent pool to pick from. We don't have the right guys in the right spots. And we're kind of hamstrung to the best people that we can find at that point in time. I'd love for you to walk away from here today with the exact playbook of how to recruit the right guys and have a bit of a surplus too, so that there is fantastic applications coming into your inbox and we can pick the right person for the job. If that's cool, let's get to work. Up until today, you've probably considered recruiting as like a standalone function and never actually considered the fact that it's a sales and marketing function. Because in order for people to know who we are and that we're hiring, we need to put a little bit of effort into our marketing, and we need to focus on how we position our brand in order to attract those people, and then we need to convert them. That's where the sales component comes in. Just like any good lead, we want to position our brand so that they can see exactly what we do. We want to entice them to reach out to us, then we want to convert them so they can join our team. So let's get stuck into it. If this is landing with you, I'd love for you to subscribe to our channel so you can see more of our videos come through. We can give you as much value as we possibly can. Now let's get back to the training. And things are a little bit different now because you and I are both millennials. And when we joined the workforce, it was just, here's the job, do the job. But now we need to change our mentality because we're targeting the Gen X and the Gen Z, and they've got different expectations. So let's take a look at how we can bring them into our world. Back when you and I joined the workforce, there was really only one place we could find a job. It was on Seek, Indeed, and other recruiting platforms. But the game's changed a little bit. You see, with the people that are looking for jobs on Seek at the moment, they're in one of 2 places. They've either left their current place of employment, probably got fired, or they're out here hunting for more dollars. These 2 people are pretty undesirable. These are the kind of guys when we post that Seek ad and we get 20 or 30 applications, and they either are straight from an employment agency and don't even have a qualification or don't even live in this country, or they're coming back from the mines, or they've been out of the workforce, or they're shopping around to find the best you and the best hourly rate. These 2 candidates really drain our energy. They're not the kind of people that we want within the business, and they suck the culture out of our entire organization. So we're going to flip the script a little bit. You see, the guys up here, the good guys, the happy guys, they're already working for somebody else and they're doing a great job, but they're not actively looking for work. And what we want to do is take these guys who are doing a great job for someone else and put our brand in front of them so they can say hi to us. These are the greatest of all time A grades. So let's look at how we're going to find these guys. But before we just go out and create content and make ads, we need to think about our org chart. Who do we actually need to recruit in our team? Once we define who we need in our team, then we're going to have to structure a bit of a job description so we know exactly who we're looking for. Now, when it comes to org chart, we've got yourself at the top here, the managing director. And if you're getting pulled into everything, you know that you either need a qualified or a project manager. And for today, we're just going to focus on the fact that we're looking for a qualified. And if you want to know more about org chart structures, we've got another training on it. Now, I said that we're going to plan out who we want. We're going to use the qualified for this example. We're going to go out to market to find a qualified for our team. The second component is writing a job description. And straight away you're thinking, mate, it sounds a bit corporate. Why do I need a JD in my company? Well, if we don't assign and list out the expectations within our business, We're just going to recruit somebody to jump in and do whatever they think is right. Now, job descriptions for us in our world are not about buzzwords like teamwork and accountability and the ability to work autonomously. That's an absolute load of trash. There's a few key pieces to a job description that actually works. We need to define the purpose of the role. So in one sentence, what do they actually do within our business? Then we have core deliverables. This is 1 to 5 pieces that explain exactly what their role is about. And then there's 3 core components that sit below that. Their daily tasks, their weekly tasks, and their monthly tasks. And this is where we get a chance to actually idiot-proof the role. Their daily task could start off as simple as arriving to the warehouse or arriving to site before the apprentices. Their weekly task could be check in with the apprentices to see how they're progressing. And the monthly task could be some form of reporting on how the projects went or how individual team members have gone throughout the month. We want to idiot-proof this from daily, weekly, and monthly. Before you think, mate, this sounds like a lot of work, don't worry, we've got a custom GPT to help write it for you. If you have a look down in the show notes, you'll be able to get your hands on that. Now, let's think about how we're going to bring these guys into our world, because we're looking for a qualified, and right now you've got a custom GPT to write the job description for you, so we can think about how to attract them. I'm going to give you 2 options here today. A quick option, which is the old school way, and a bit more of a detailed option, which is the new school way. And I'll let you choose which one you want to do, or you can run both together. You can either use Seek, Indeed, and other recruiting platforms, or you can leverage your socials. So let's jump into Seek real quick so that you know exactly what you should be doing, and I might power it up with a bit of a GPT as well. So when it comes to writing Seek ads, traditionally we have gone, I am ABC Plumbing and I'm recruiting for a plumber. And the ad will come out in such a way that the title will be Plumber Wanted for plumbing company ABC, and the headline will be, we are growing and a family business, come join us. Mate, it's fucking boring. It's the same as everybody else's, and it's not going to get any cut through. The most important piece when we're looking at the Seek ad, number 1 is the headline, and number 2 is the caption. The headline is the statement that we see at the very top of the ad. I reckon you've got about 150 characters to work with. And the caption is that second statement that we see before you actually click into the ad. These are the most important pieces for your Seek ad. The reason is, like we were saying, this is a marketing and sales function. We have a limited amount of words here that we can use to attract the right person. And I want to bring you into thinking about a bit of storytelling when we do this. Now, if I can just position this as, I went out and recruited for a brand manager, and I was told that I wasn't going to find someone who can shoot videos, understand data, and edit them, and do all of our socials. They told me it was a unicorn role. So for the headline that I picked for this role, I said, I'm looking for a unicorn brand manager. And I used my old mate ChatGPT to help me put a story together of how this unicorn role comes out. Now you might be thinking, mate, that's all well and good, but we're not looking for a brand manager. Totally fair. But you might have a specific story of the person that you are looking for. You could be in residential construction as a, let's pick a plumber, and you might be thinking, I'd love to bring in some commercial skill sets. Your headline and caption could be talking to somebody who wants to get out of 6-day working sites, another cog in the wheel, to leave that large commercial entity and come to work with us for a more residential approach. You can spin this story in however you want, but it really comes down to thinking about who is that one person that we're after, so that we can make the headline and the caption talk directly to them. Now, I told you I was going to be very, very quick with Seek. I have got a GPT down in the show notes. It's called Sam GPT for your Seek ad. Go ahead and use that. It's going to help you ideate on what that unicorn type role is, so that you can get a story together, make your Seek ads a little bit better. But I'm not a fan of Seek, because once we do post that ad, we can't leverage it. We can't push it. We can't add any budget or spend to it. We can't get it out into the world. It sits in a platform and it's totally static. What I would love for us to consider, and you would have seen these videos as well, is leveraging our socials, particularly through Instagram. You would have seen those videos of, hi, we're hiring such and such, and we're looking for this person. They've got great video and great B-roll and 300 likes to it and 10,000 views. That is what we're chasing for here today. And there's 3 components that make this up and make this campaign work. Firstly, we need the asset. This is the video or selection of videos themselves. Secondly, we need to turn them into an ad. And third, we need to curate our feed to be recruiting focused. We're going to dive into all three. Let's get a clean page. So let's start with the asset. What is this super cool video that we're going to produce, and how can we produce it? There's two ways that we can actually do it. The first way is DIY, for those that are a bit budget conscious. And the second way is we can get a videographer. I'm sure straight away that you can tell the best practice is going to be using a videographer, but I know that some of us have a bit of a budget to work towards, and we might want to get the wheels moving first with the content we have, and that's totally fine. So, in order for us to prepare this video asset, we need a script. And I have done this plenty of times on site before, and if this is your first time shooting a video on site, you are absolutely going to do this as well. You're going to walk onto site, you're going to have something that you're going to say, you're going to look straight down the barrel of the camera and forget how to speak English. It happens every single time, and it's absolutely fine. This is a game about reps, and it's going to feel a bit awkward at first, but I want you to remember that we are here for a purpose, and we are going to design this video, we're going to shoot this video to the best of our ability to attract the right guys to our team so that you can free up your time and come to the playground by 4 p.m. And if you can sit in that frame when you're on site, not worrying about what everybody else thinks about you, but worry about you and driving your business forward, it'll give you the confidence to do so. The second part to that confidence element is knowing exactly what you're going to say. Now, regardless of whether we're going to use a videographer or DIY, I, my friend, have a GPT scriptwriter to make your life a hell of a lot easier. That's down in the show notes right now. You can absolutely unpack that. What we're going to do, whether we do DIY or videographer, is you're going to have this script, and it's going to go line by line of what you're going to say. There's only about a minute's worth of words to get through, and when you get out onto site, you're going to just remember to say one line, and then the second line, and then the third line, and then the fourth line, and then you can turn around and say the fifth line, because we can jump cut every section of the way so that you can and ah after the sentence is said. I hope that makes sense. You can jump cut as much as you need. Got it? Done. Now let's look at how we're going to put this together. If you're going to choose the DIY route, there's 4 things that we're going to build. You're going to have a look through your phone archive, or if you've done content before, the archive of what content you have. We are hunting for 10 videos. And before you go, oh, fuck, I don't know if I've got 10 videos, we're looking for 10 videos and only 3 seconds each of those videos. We're going to cut those together. So we got 10 vids that we need, and we're going to use CapCut or one of the editing softwares to bring them together. They're going to be 3 seconds each, giving us a 30-second video. That's the first piece that we need to do. Now we have a video of, could be our guys on site, could be a little bit about you. We don't need any of the audio from it. We're just bringing together some videos that we have that keeps our listener, our watcher entertained and stops the scroll a little bit. You want to flex a bit of your team. You want to flex some of the happy faces. The second component is you're going to grab my script and you're going to do a voice overlay. You can use the voice recording function on your phone, or if you're using an app like CapCut, it's very easy to add the audio in. Now we have a 30-second video and the words from the script put in as an overlay. The third piece, you're going to add captions to the video. And the fourth piece, you're going to grab a little bit of background music and you're going to drop that volume right down to about 3 or 4. If you leave it at 100, it is going to be so fucking loud. So straight away in a DIY, we haven't spent any money on anybody else. We've grabbed 10 or so videos, snipped them down to 3 seconds each, so it moves quite fast, giving us a 30-second video. Then we're using the script in order to get our voice overlay of what you're saying. Hi, I'm Sam from Tradie. We're recruiting for a qualified plumber, yada, yada, yada. The script is going to lay that out for you, and we'll have that added in to our video. Then we add captions, pick a style that's nice for you, move them up to the middle of the screen. If they're down the very bottom, they'll be cut off when we turn this into an ad. So those captions are going to sit right bang in the center. We've got our little pieces down here that send message, save and like, and we've got your company name up the top there. That's how it's going to look on socials. And the final piece, we're going to add some fun background music, bit of rock, bit of EDM, whatever the right avatar that we're looking for would align with. And we're going to drop that volume right down to about 3 or 4 so it's subtle in the background. That's how you put together this DIY asset. But what about those of us that want best practice? We're going to get a videographer in. And the trick with finding a good videographer is having a look at the work that they do and find someone that has the right style for you. And as soon as you reach out to them, they're going to ask you, what do you want to shoot? What do we need? And they're probably going to try and sign you up to some kind of ongoing content subscription. It's totally fine if that's something you're interested in, but I would be focusing on just getting the assets that we need. Now, if you are going to invest in a videographer, they're probably going to do either a couple hour, a half day, or a full day shoot. Let's try and get them down to a couple hours or a half day shoot. And instead of us just going and spending a few $1,000s getting one video, let's think about the ICP or the ideal profile. And we use this for sales, ideal customer profile. We're going to change this to the ideal recruit profile. And we could pick 1, 2, or even 3 different ways we can talk to this person. This person could be, for this qualified example, they could be leaving commercial. They could want some more work-life balance. And you all know how I feel about work-life balance, but nonetheless, from one dad to another, we know that if we do have parents in our team and they do have to leave a little bit early to pick their child up from childcare here or there, or if a child gets sick, regardless of whether we talk about work-life balance in our entity, we are going to let them do it anyway. So we may as well at least push that we support work-life balance so that we can bring those young dads in, because they're not out partying every weekend. They are doing good work. It's just unfortunate that sometimes family members do come down with illness and they do have to nip out early. So we can think about, what is the ideal recruit profile? What are 3 key stories that we can put together when we put this GPT script in? And a third one, let's maybe get someone who, in the opposite example, wants to move from resi into a more commercial. You know what, I'm actually going to chuck a 4th in here as well. This guy could be looking for a pathway to management. Now we have 4 assets that we can go and shoot, and this is going to give us a pretty good rounded position to go, maybe leaving commercial didn't quite land with the audience, and we can test balance. And maybe balance landed a little bit, but we got kind of the wrong guys out of it. Maybe the resi to commercial was the right one. We got some good applications, and we're not ready for someone to move to management yet, but we have that asset in our back pocket that we can deploy later on. So now we know what we want to shoot. We're going to grab the GPT script writer and we're going to put this into 1, 2, 3, and even 4 different stories for our ideal recruit profile. Now we have the scripts of what we want to say, and we've got to make our way out to site. And once we make our way out to site, we're going to have to think about, what do we want to show? We've got 4 different profiles to choose from, or 4 different stories that have a bit of a different feel. If we're going to take guys that are leaving commercial and promote a bit more of our residential work, we're going to want to show resi stuff. We don't want to be in full PPE, hard hats, gloves, goggles, everything. But the opposite is true as well. If we want to take that number 3 position from resi to commercial, we do want to show that transition. So you're going to have to think about the message and the story that you're using for that ideal recruit profile. And what do they want to see? What resonates with them? If you're thinking about that balance topic as well, you might feature your children in some of the content, or you might be a bit outlandish and go to a playground. There's certain ways that we can get a message in, because as we all know, a picture tells 1,000 words. We want to make sure that what we are saying in our scripts aligns with what we're showing in our videos. So we're out to site now. We've got our videographer with us. He's got a bit of an understanding of what we need. Now, what do we actually want to shoot? Well, we have a full breakdown explanation of our content strategy through head, heart, and hands. And when we're thinking about recruiting, we are thinking about the heart of the business. We're thinking about showing the happy faces, the high fives, the going box opening up, taking the ladders off the roof, going onto site, clipping tool belts on. We're thinking about passing timber to each other, passing tools to each other. We want to show the heart within the business. We want to show the real guys having a good time. so that these guys that are leaving commercial or want more balance or moving from resi to commercial or a pathway to management can see, oh, they've got young guys on their team, they've got fucking big arms on them. That's the kind of place that I want to work at. This is all about flexing the culture in individual messages, but focusing on the heart within the business. So now we've got our asset. How do we turn it into an ad? And if you're anything like me, you've probably gone and posted that on your Instagram page already, and that's absolutely fine. When we create and collect these assets, it is a great idea for us to post them first organically, so a normal post on our Instagram page, and let it run for 24 to 48 hours so that we can pick up all of the organic traffic that we would have normally had. Now we want to actually take this and turn it onto steroids. And I'm going to try and draw a rocket here, but it doesn't quite look like a rocket. We're going to turn this into an ad. And there's 3 components when we turn this into an ad. We don't have to as well worry about having a business ads manager or a Facebook ads manager. That's a story for another day. We're going to keep things as simple as possible here and think about boosting this. When we think about boosting, it's a beautiful thing because there's only 3 components to boosting a post and to get as much traffic as we can to that asset so that we can have people jumping into our inbox, talking to us so that we can see whether they're the right person for the job, so that we can take them over and start the hiring process. So I'm going to walk you through the 3 steps to turning your asset, your recruiting video, into an ad using boosted post. It's so simple that you're probably going to get upset with me that I didn't tell you about it earlier. There is 3 components: the call to action, the audience, and the budget. The call to action, what do we actually want them to do when they see our ad? There's a couple options we can select from, and you would probably think, oh, I should drive them to the recruiting page on my website. Wrong. We want them to send us a message. And the reason we want them to send us a message is because it's very easy to do for them in-app. They're not getting sent away to another link and getting asked a bunch of questions. All they do is hit send message, and Instagram has made it so easy for them that they will hit an automated response and it will say, hi, can I get more info on this? This is such a low friction, low calorie burn activity that we can get a volume of people coming in. Now, I don't know about you, but I've seen a few resumes in my time and they're pretty much an A4 page of fucking lies. But when we go through this process, we get people to send us a message. We can see their profile. We can see what kind of person they are. We can see if they party all weekend. We can see if they're a nice family man. We can see if they're a respectable person, or we can see if they post some of those awful bloody racial posts and things like that. It's not even worth having an interview with them. So we can do a bit of pre-screening. And you know how we've got point 3 up here as well? Fill our feed. If we're going to get people to send us a message and we're going to check them out, you can absolutely bet that they are going to check you out too. We're going to get to filling our feed in a moment. So we're about to boost this post. We've selected the call to action of send message. And how do we target the audience? Well, you can select a pin around either your home location, around your city, or your office location. And we can decide what the radius is. And you'll need to think about what is the logical distance that someone's willing to travel regularly in order to come work with us? Is it 5Ks? Is it 10K? Is it 20 or 30K? Are we going to drop pins that go to the other side of the city? Are they going to go and cross the bridge to come in? I don't know, and that's something that you're going to have to consider. We're going to use a location first, and then we're going to drill down and maybe put some demographics in there as well. Now, I know that there are a lot of women entering the trade industry, and I'm fully supportive of it. However, when we're thinking about assigning budget to recruiting, I would most likely put our demographics down as men. And the reason here is that, yes, there are a few women coming in, and maybe you are targeting just women, and the opposite is true as well. But I would much rather for our budget to go to the majority of people that are in the trade industry. And unfortunately, the truth is that most of them are male. So you're going to choose a location, and you're going to choose a couple demographic sections in here as well. They could be about men aged 25 to 35, if we're looking for that qualified, that entry-level qualified. If we're looking for someone with a pathways to management, it could be that 30 to 45. If you're looking for a bit more of a mature old rock to join the company, we could go that 45 to 55. You're going to have to think about those different individual recruiting profiles that we laid out earlier as to who the right audience is for this individual asset and this individual ad. So you've selected your call to action, your audience, and now the budget. I've seen people do this and they've gone to all the effort of creating an awesome recruiting video. And then they've gone and let it fall to shit by not putting enough budget behind it. So I'm going to dictate for you exactly how much we should spend. We're going to start at a minimum of $30 per day. And I think a pretty fair maximum is about $50 a day. The reason here is if we do any less than 30, it doesn't get traction, it doesn't get pushed out, it doesn't get enough awareness. When we do $30 a day, there's quick math here because $30 over 30 days takes us to about $1,000 a month. That's usually how long it takes for us to get a few reps in front of somebody, for them to see our ad, for them to check out our profile, and for them to want to send us a message. Now, if you do have an extreme example where you do need to recruit someone right now, you've just won a major project, we need to have more guys in, something happened with our ads, we've got a huge influx of leads coming in, maybe if you're in the solar game and there's some rebates happening, we need guys right now, you can scale that ad spend up to $50 or even $60 a day. When we start pushing further than that $50 or $60 a day, we end up going out to a much wider audience, where we start to go out to places that are past the audience selection. And this can be a little bit dangerous as well. So $30 to $50 is a really sound budget to put behind an individual ad. And if you're going to be running 2, 3, or 4 of those ideal recruit profiles, we're going to do the same budget for each of those. So we'll have 2, 3, or 4 of those ads running at any one time. Now, the final piece I want to tell you before you go ahead and run these boosted posts is that if you run Apple products, you will be charged an iOS fee to run these boosted posts from your mobile device. So I know it's not the best picture of a laptop, but do this from your desktop. It'll be slightly cheaper. Whenever we're running boosted posts, I always want you to think about structuring those from your desktop. Now, let's move over to the third piece, our feed. What do we need to do with our feed in order to capitalize on the attention that we're driving from our assets to our ads to our page? Now, this is the part that most people get wrong, because we've gone to all the effort of creating that recruiting video and we've put some budget behind it and turned it into an ad. But we fail to think about what the user is actually doing. Now, if we think about we're recruiting for a qualified, he's already employed somewhere, and at smoko and lunchtime, he does a bit of a scroll and he might see one of our ads. He clicks on our ad, he has a look and he goes, oh, you know, maybe I'm a bit busy, maybe I can't get back to that right now, but he does check out your profile. And one thing that we need to make sure is that we do a feed refill so that we're not just showing individual ducted installs and we're not just showing finished projects. We're thinking about that head, heart and hands concept about our content, and we're looking at our page acutely. We're doing a bit of analysis of what we have. What we want to do is position our page in such a way where that when they look at it, they see a lot of smiley faces. They see the kind of work that we do. They see the kind of culture that we have within our business. So let's look at doing a feed refill. Now, there's 3 key components when we are doing this feed refill. We're going to have a look at our description and make sure that it says exactly who we are and what we do. We're going to have a look at our highlights, and you might not have highlights at this point in time, and that's totally fine because you're going to build them out right now. And then you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 50 highlights. Let's focus on 4 for the moment and think about what do we really want to show. We want to show about us, who are the people behind the business. We want to show the team. We want to show the projects and maybe a bit of a BTS. What's the reality like behind the lens? This way, when people go to our profile and they've never heard about us and they've never seen us before, it says exactly what we do and who we work for. And they can also quickly see what do we do, what's it like here, what's it like behind the scenes. And the third piece to our feed refill is what happens within a couple scrolls. Now, you've got a phone full of content. You've taken pictures on site. You may have done some shoots previously. They might be stuck in a Google Drive or somewhere like that. I want you to go against all of the advice you've ever heard about organic content and think about how can I do a feed refill for a couple scrolls worth to make sure that when I do drive cold traffic and cold recruits to my page and they do go for a couple scrolls, they see our business in exactly how we want it to be presented. It's not good enough just to grab our new recruiting video, post it, and then leave all the other junk that we have there. This feed refill is about positioning our business so that we can get those applications to convert. is our marketing and our sales function for the recruiting process. Now guys, we have everything we need to go out to create a script, to then produce a video, to put budget behind that video, and also make sure that it converts so that you have more applications than you've ever had before. And once we bring those guys in, you can then come out at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and play with your children like a good dad does. This is just one of the many trainings that we have to help you grow your business. Just like the head, heart and hands and organic content. If that's something that you want to know and we spoke about a little bit earlier, click the link up here and you'll be able to watch that. And if you want to see how I scaled my company from my backyard to the boardroom to 8 figures, that training's right up here. We'll see you on the next one.